Hi and welcome to Time Tunnelers. On the 8th of May, the Olympic torch will land in France and begin its journey all the way around the country until on the 26th of July it will get to Paris for the start of the 2024 Olympic Games. I'm Robin Scott-Elliott and I'm a time tunneler, and I've been lucky enough to go to 3 Olympic Games because I used to be the Olympic correspondent of a national newspaper. So I'm going to give you a sprint through the history of the Olympic Games. On your marks, get set, go. So the first modern Olympics was in Athens in 1896. It was in Athens because that's where the Olympics came from. The ancient Olympics were from Greece and they're thought to have started around 776 BC, so that's nearly 3,000 years ago. So let's start in Paris in 1900, the 3 times Paris would have held the Olympic Games. In 1900, they had events like underwater swimming, where you took a deep breath and see how far you could swim. They had cricket, and they even had live pigeon shooting. Let's leap forward to 1936, and I'm going to pick out some Olympic heroes for you. And my first one comes in the Berlin Olympics. So this is the Berlin Olympics in 1936, when the Nazis were trying to show the world how great they were, but along came Jesse Owens from America, and he won 4 gold medals, and he proved that he was the greatest and fastest athlete in the world, and that absolutely ruined the Nazi stories. Do look up Jesse Owens' story because it's inspirational and there's still lots we can learn from it. Let's jump forward to 1948 and the London Olympics. Another person who won 4 gold medals when they weren't supposed to. This is Fanny Blankers-Koen, who was known as the Flying Housewife. So Fanny had 2 wee kids, and in that time there were lots of men who thought that women, and mums especially, shouldn't take part in the Olympic Games. And Fanny can prove them completely wrong. So maybe look up her story, tell your mum the story, and maybe that might inspire her. Here's a story that will definitely inspire you all. We're in 1976, we're in Montreal, we're in Canada, and a wee slender slim girl steps onto the floor of the gymnastics arena. Within minutes, the whole world is head over heels with Nadia Comaneci. That's her there, Nadia. So she was only 14 years old, and she went on to perform the absolutely perfect routine and got 10 out of 10. The first person in Olympic history to get 10 out of 10 for a floor routine. And she is an absolute inspiration. She went on to win 5 Olympic gold medals in 2 Olympics. And the last one who I have to include is Usain Bolt, which everyone will have heard of Usain Bolt, the fastest man who has ever lived, and he won 8 gold medals. And I was lucky enough to be in London in 2012 to watch him win the 100 metres, which I think is the greatest event in the Games, my favourite event. So let's talk about Paris. In 1924 it staged its 2nd Games, and there were only 135 women taking part in the Olympics because, as I said, lots of men thought there shouldn't be any women taking part in the athletic events. This year in Paris there'll be about 11,000 athletes, and half of them will be women, so about 6,000 female athletes will be in Paris. It's going to be a great Games. It's supposed to be the greenest ever Games. Look out for the opening ceremony when all the teams, the A to Z of the world, from Albania to Zimbabwe, will all be in their own boat, and they'll be sailing down the River Seine as the opening ceremony, which should be a fantastic spectacle. So I'm just going to pick out 2 names for you to look out for in these Olympics. One British, first of all, Sky Brown. Now Sky, I think she turned 16 just before the Games, and she is a world champion skateboarder, and I think she can turn her bronze in Tokyo in the last Olympics into gold in Paris. So at 16 years old, she could be a gold medal winner. And the other one is a year older. She's called Summer McIntosh, and Summer is from Canada, and she's a swimmer, and she's also a world champion, and I think she's going to win a load of golds in Paris, so look out for her. So enjoy the Games, and also look out for all the sports that you don't usually see on telly. Like, I'd recommend watching handball, which is a really exciting game to watch. I will be back later in the summer to talk to you about the Paralympics, which is straight after the Olympics, and is actually the event that inspired my first book, The Tsar's Curious Runaways. Before I go, here's a writing challenge. Think of one of those names that I've mentioned: Jesse Owens, Fanny Blankers-Koen, Nadia Comaneci, or Usain Bolt. Look up their story and write up their story. Or here's a drawing challenge. In every Olympics since 1968, there has been a mascot. Have a look back at the 15 different mascots and see if you can design your own mascot with a bit of a French take for Paris 2024. So enjoy the Olympics. Thank you for watching.